All right, and this will show you how to complete your business profile. This is at this point, whether you're a new business owner or existing business owner, you should be linked up. Everyone will be linked up here, right, to complete their profiles. Um, Anyways, let's go ahead and get started. So we're almost ready to basically get start applying for some vendor accounts if you want to start building some history or even looking at funding options. Okay, we're almost there. We just got to tighten up a few more things. So essentials for funding: business checking account, right? Credit union, U.S. Bank, Bank of America, Chase. Doesn't really matter. I just kind of just picked these two just to have something, right? I'll explain later. Duns number. This is used for net 30s, stated income products, and some other products. Like, not all banks are going to do their research and see if you're in this database, but they sometimes do. So you want to make sure that you have it and that you have like the correct address. So to get it, you go here to the DMB website, dmb.com, or you can just go to Dunn's and Bradstreet, right? Get a Dunn's number, or just click on the website, and then it says get started. Hold on, have U.S. based business. You put in your zip code and all that, and then it's going to create an account and look for you. If no one else has claimed that business, which most likely they're not going to have it, right? Because it like you probably just created it, whatever. But anyways, it'll create the profile, and then you can update the address and make sure all that's good. You just have to follow the prompts, okay? Um, Now, if you're an established business, make sure you also update the business revenue, how many employees you have in your industry. This one, be aware of your NICS code. Um, if you can avoid it, avoid restricted industries. But again, I'm not saying lie. You know what to do, right? The business checking. There's all types of checking accounts. It all depends on your business needs, yada yada yada. But these are the main three that I personally like or may have used in the past. So Bank of America, especially if you're making more than 20,000 a month in revenue, because they have the preferred rewards program for business. You can go to their website and learn more about it, or talk to one of their bankers. But basically, this is why, because they have this in the rewards programs. Like, they give you bonus rewards on your credit cards, interest rate booster, etc. Now, U.S. Bank is also good if you're making less than 20,000. I believe it's because from the date of this writing of March, there's no monthly maintenance fee. Okay, they do have other fees though, like all banks. So just be aware of that. Reach out to an actual representative of the bank for further details. Mercury, I've used them as well. The only thing is they're a fintech company, so sometimes they're like, if you try to get a product that requires bank statements and it's a fintech, they're not going to be as confident about those statements as compared to a traditional bank that's brick and mortar. So just remember that fintech companies, they're great. However, you may get some what's it called? Some lenders, if they want to see your bank statements, they may reject them because there's just fintech is still new. That's literally it. This is how the banking world is. Like, when they don't understand it, instead of trying to understand, they rather just deny you. It's very frustrating. But things are changing, right? Things are slowly changing. The other one, if you don't want to go with a fintech, is a local credit union. $0 to already making money. The great thing about credit unions is that you can build a much more personable relationship than you can at all these other banks, right? Because usually local credit unions, they have very specific campaigns in their regions. They may say that they only want to work with businesses in XYZ county, or they may say like, we only work with Arizona businesses, etc. Right? And so their bankers are very specialized in very specific things sometimes. So that can be both good and bad, right? The bad part is because they're so localized and specialized, they may not know how to do all the fancy stuff, right? But they can push your approval through, because they know you, they know your business, and they fully understand the scope of whatever product you're going for. Also, the service might be spotty because, again, they're a local credit union. They're not a national bank that has a huge bankroll to hire thousands of employees, right? Like I said, there's trade-offs. As you progress and you start building these relationships, you're gonna kind of just intuitively know, just naturally, where to go, which banks to go to for specific things, right? When you're starting out, I kind of like the credit unions, to build that relationship. I'm not saying you can't do this, but just know that their underwriting guidelines are so much more strict compared to someone like this. And I'll break it down further once we get to the last section. But yeah, here they are. And then once you have all this set up and you completed your profile, depending on what tier you're in, you go to these separate sections, right? Honestly, tier one and tier two clients, they don't have to build the credit, the trade line history. They can just immediately go here if they want, right? Which again, I'm gonna break all this down for everyone, okay? And explain why it's optional, etc. And it'll make sense once we get here as well, okay? So that's pretty much it. It's very simple to complete the profile. You do that, and then you move on to the next section, depending on what tier you're in.